I want to find a France proud of itself, its history, landscapes and customs. France as it was, as I knew it.
Okay, hello everyone, we're here at La République. There's a protest organized by Henda Ayari and Ben Le Patriote, who started an association called the Patriots of Diversity. Let's go check it out together, let's go. Look at this beautiful scene, the flag being waved on the Statue of the Republic.
Today, I'm very happy that we're here, that we're all here, because it filled up much faster. For other causes, unfortunately. So I would have liked there to be a lot more people here, a lot more people.
It's unusual to see so many French flags in this square.
That's true, but there are still too few. There are still too few compared to the population we're here in France. Normally, there should be a lot more French people, a lot more people who share the good things our country gives us. Unfortunately, we're entering more conflicts, which isn't good. That we stay here, that we stay French above all, even with all the foreigners, but at least that we all love our country. It's no longer possible, so today we should be proud to wear a blue, white and red cap. I was attacked while wearing my blue, white and red cap during the elections between rounds. Why? Not for anything I said, because I was wearing the cap. When I asked my attacker, but why? He said, that cap and our country are worthless, and I replied, but where are you right now? You're in France, there's no argument, always the same ones. So I'm fed up, so that day I'm very, very proud of it.
What are you doing here, Johan?
Well, I'm here to support Patriots de la Diversité, who contacted me so that we could be as many as possible. I came with my group, the Eros Collective, about 10 of us, and with Jordan Florentin, who's back there. So it's pretty cool to see French flags instead of Palestinian flags in this square. It feels good to see the blue, white and red. So yeah, it lifts our spirits, especially when you look at the current situation in France today, whether it's political or all the current attacks, or the far left taking over the streets. For the first time, we're taking over Place de la République. It's been a while, and I'm really happy.
And you are so proud to be French?
Yes, well, actually my father is Cambodian. In Cambodia there was a war, the Khmer Rouge, and my father, he fled Cambodia to come to France.
And how do you see the evolution of France with your perspective as a mixed race person?
Well, I'm very skeptical because actually I'm 34 years old and I'm waiting for 2027 to know if I can really start a family. To give myself the chance to have children. After 40, I froze my eggs because I'm uncertain. Honestly, I feel like the France I knew is gone. I feel more and more like a stranger in my own country. Today's France no longer resembles the France of my childhood.
What has actually changed?
The business landscape has changed. Melun is a city next to Fontainebleau. In Melun, French restaurants are gone. Only kebab and taco places remain. All the restaurants are halal, all the butcher shops are halal, and actually, I worked there in Melun. When I go there, I get approached every 20 meters. Every 20 meters, people make aggressive advances toward me. And even if I wear a fake ring to make them think I'm married, well, they still try to get close to me anyway. They walk beside and follow me. Fortunately, I don't live in Melun, or they might follow me home. And actually, my harassers all look exactly the same, honestly. About 80% North Africans, 20% black. I've never been harassed by a Frenchman, white person, or Asian.
So what should we do to get out of this?
Marine Le Pen knows what needs to be done, and I trust what she wants to do. She knows what needs to be done despite having many tasks.
I hope more people attend the next gathering, since this is just a test period. Because even we didn't know if we were going to come at first, and now when we see how many people are here, we think, why not for the next ones? So there will be a lot more of us, and really show the far left that we are actually the majority. Combining all right-wing groups, we overpower the left. So yeah, it's just that people are afraid, and I can understand that. It's true that when you see how violent the far left is, you don't dare go out, and me, I'm the first one. It's true that in some places, like the Marais, I get attacked. It's pretty violent. You who were at Gay Pride with me saw how they are.
Even here at République, honestly, when you come alone, you or I or others don't feel safe.
Of course, and that's why we often have police protection. Well, that's not normal.
Well, I have to tell you that your generation has a big responsibility in the current situation in France. What do you think about that?
I don't feel responsible, except for one thing, and that's for not getting involved in politics. And for having let everything we see today happen.
For example, where were you in May '68?
In school? Yes, definitely.
Yes, you were too young.
Well, there you go.
All right.
In 6th grade,
So you're not from the 68 generation.
In any case, there are some. There are some.
So tell me, when you look at France today, you who were part of the 68 generation, what do you think of the result?
It's a failure. It's a political, economic and social failure. So, of course, there are successes like aviation, aeronautics and transportation.
That was already under de Gaulle, right?
That's right.
It was actually started under de Gaulle.
But there was a France that fell behind, especially with Europe.
We would have liked to have much more than that.
We should have numbers. We should be at least 1 million, 2 million. It's not normal that there aren't many of us here. I think the left gathers more people than us. The left, you snap your fingers and right away, 200,000 people with Palestinian and Algerian flags, no French flags. We can't do the same thing. I don't understand that.
In Ireland, it's the opposite.
In Ireland, it's the same. In Ireland, the right wing is divided.
Yes, but the Rassemblement National and Reconquête.
Yes, but we're the majority. We're the majority, but still divided. We should be united.
But why can't the French manage to unite?
That's the big question.
I'm asking you the question, you know.
We ask ourselves that? We ask ourselves that? I don't know. Personally, I think the French aren't patriotic. They're not patriotic anymore. France, it has changed. We're governed by incompetents who educate us their way from school up until now. They mold us in a left-wing system, that's it. Whenever you take action, they prevent you from sharing ideas. If you have a French flag, they call you a fascist. You can't do anything. No, that's how it is.
And then I think that our generation, mine and his, well, those who are a certain age, I feel like France, it will be over, you know.
It's a disaster, sir.
We can do a wordplay. It's a failure that comes from the French. That is to say, the ones responsible, of course, are whoever you want, but it's the French first.
That's true. Bad choices. Well,
Yes, of course.
Above all, too little discipline, too much leniency, and incompetent judges. Or I don't want to say the word, but you understand me? That's it. When you let everything happen in a country, well, obviously it's anarchy.
so what should we conclude from all this?
We should conclude that we need to return to more discipline, more supervision, and change many things in the French system.
Do you think it's reversible? Do you think we can still do that?
I hope so. I don't know. I hope so. Are you part of a political movement?
Not at all.
Because me neither. I came here because this isn't political, but I was disappointed by the English. With the human tide that's in the street and here, the protest that's going on there. Last week I protested too. There were 10 times more people than today. That's very disappointing.
The French may be slow, but they achieve more. In any case, we hope so.
Slow or cowardly? Yes, I prefer walking since the weather is nice.
So you're saying France will disappear if we do nothing?
That's how I feel about it. Because for me, the 80s, we were living in them. The 80s, we were living in them, it wasn't the same. You really see a change that's radical, and not in a good way. On top of that,
It will get worse and worse. It will keep getting worse. There will be more and more anti-French attacks.
we were already saying it 30 years ago already. We were already saying it. But I didn't see it at that level. I didn't see that kind of intensity.
So what's the French original sin? How did we get here?
What happened is that we let in too many people who don't love France, for example. That's already the big problem.
It's forced, not voluntary immigration. That's the difference. We're not against immigration. From the moment they come, they contribute to France's efforts. They love France. That's it. Right now, we're facing immigration that exploits the system.
Excessive misplaced generosity and naivety.
That's right.
Too much welfare, too much help for foreigners, to the detriment of the French themselves.
Anyway, Mr. Menard said it again recently, right in front of the president, telling him that you let in 500,000 a year. So 500,000 a year, that's not acceptable. And then...
Thank you, Macron.
So thank you, Macron. I have the impression, and it's something else that I can't understand. Why is Europe itself, I would almost say the whole world, why is it heading towards suicide like this? We can't understand.
Okay, so actually the protest is moving now. They're heading to Nation and passing by the Bataclan for a moment of silence. We're going to follow them. There you go.
The Asterix Obelix back. And there you go.
There you go, ma'am. Are you a big racist?
No, I'm not a big racist. I'm a realist. because France has always been built on immigration. I've never contradicted that. What I want is for us to control our borders, who comes in and who goes out. I'm a native-born French woman. French, you see, native-born. My parents fought in the war. My great-grandparents fought in the war to bring France to this state. There you go. There's no respect at all.
I sense deep sadness in you.
Yes, I'm very distressed because I'm 69. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm retired now. I'm fighting for my children, for the next generation. I find it absurd that we can't live together. The political powers, they're destroying us, dividing us, and everyone is going along with it. And I'm not a fascist, not at all. I forgot to tell you, I've been a yellow vest since the beginning. Yes, that's it, and that's how the French were.
Our grandparents expelled the Nazis, we'll expel the Islamists.
All right.
Israel and France, same fight. The Jews, we are 2,000% French. We have to manage to work together. What I see is that we are very organized. And I think that Catholics aren't really, well, atheist Catholics, that's it. And actually, that needs to change. It's too scattered. Things are falling apart. We need to get organized.
Are you saying the situation is serious today?
It's so serious, but I believe in it. I really do. As long as I'm not on my knees on the ground in a burqa, I'll keep fighting. But it's here. We have to wake up right now, right now, right now. I'm from Saint-Étienne. We were forced out and sold our apartments for almost nothing. Why? Because the Islamists, at first, the suburbs, they were around the city. All of a sudden, they all started coming into the city center because there were too many of them to stay around the city. So they kicked us out. It's scorched earth. They destroy everything around them. Now, 3 out of 4 stores are boarded up. It's economic desolation. It's fear in the guts. You can't let your kids go out anymore, even during the day, because it's too dangerous. Now only halal butcher shops remain. Everything else is gone. They tried to open halal shops downtown, even with pork and our favorite foods. But it didn't last because people avoid downtown now. It's too dangerous. It's not even us who don't want them there anymore. It's them who don't want us, the French, to be there anymore. That's the problem.
What should we do?
Let's unite, get organized, and vote wisely. And get rid of them. There you go. After all the Muslims, Jews, Catholics, atheists, Buddhists, and everyone else, there you go. Those who love France come together, and we get rid of everyone who hates France and wants to turn France into just one thing. It's a caliphate. We've clearly seen that the Palestinian cause is the Trojan horse used by Islamists to infiltrate France and bring it down. We must fight this or our children won't be able to stay in France. Or else, under a caliphate. But we're going to fight until the end. We won't give up anything, but we have to get organized.
As soon as they left, the Palestinian and Algerian flags went up right away and the French flag was gone. Because I arrived just after. Oh yeah? So I was watching on Frontier and I came just after. It took me 15 minutes to get there. I was watching, I was like, was it a live soccer game or what? They put up French flags, where are all the things? And I see a big Palestinian flag, a big Algerian flag. There you go. Our masters still gave us 15 minutes.
So tell me, what are you doing here?
I came to show people that I'm proud to be French, no matter my skin color, no matter my origins. Loving France is what matters most. We're here to love France and to show we're tired of feeling like outsiders. And also, it has to be said that if they're not happy, if people who don't like France aren't happy, they should just leave France.
They're well off here with benefits and more. Why would they leave?
You see the problem? They insult France but stay for the benefits. Exactly, that's what's sad.
So what should we do?
We should prioritize honest French people who love France. In fact, we should prioritize the French period. Saying France in French has meaning. Actually, we need to remove the benefits for those who take advantage and do nothing. Because yes, you have people who come to France, they settle in and they do nothing. They don't respect France, you see? And that pisses me off. At some point, we have to cut off their benefits and tell them to manage on their own. Because normally, once you're invited, you have to respect the customs of France. You have to work to be able to make it. You can't just come and settle down and do nothing. It's not logical. It's not normal.
If you don't like France, why live there? That's all.
No, maybe they want to be in France and make it more like them.
Yes, but that's called colonizing a country. For me, France primarily belongs to the French. It's normal. Any country in the world has its own identity, its own culture. Countries shouldn't change. Regarding a minority, that's completely normal.
Unless that minority gradually becomes the majority.
Yes, but in that case, it's an invasion. Exactly. It's up to the native people to make sure to preserve the history, the identity, and to make sure that...
Watch demographic pressure.
Yes, that's also...
If you love France, come with us.
I'm here, madam.
There you go, my friend. That's it. That's the France we love. We are black, we are white. And we love France and we love these values. And we're fed up with those who spit on France. We're fed up.
Those who disrespect France, you're leaving, like it or not. That's it.
France, you either love it or you leave it.
Exactly. France is the only country in the world where, no matter your origin, you have the chance to have dual nationality. We should stop now, since France provides many things. The least you can do is respect the symbols and be honest. That's it.
I haven't seen this many French flags in a long time. There are a lot of people, though. It takes time to get through the march. Yeah, there are a lot of people. How many people do you think there are?
Quite a lot of people.
A lot of...
Several thousand there. Yeah, really. How are you guys? What do you think about this protest?
It's terrible. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words. Seeing this feels unreal. It's so absurd I can't even explain how I feel. Earlier, people were putting up Free France signs. What do I think? Honestly, I think that...
They attacked people who were, well, they didn't attack them, literally. Someone said in unclear words that they weren't with them. After that, everyone approached them. They started insulting them. They said, then they started calling him a fascist. They said, burn Palestine. I didn't understand.
But then actually you're rather against this protest?
Yes, very much so, of course.
More than just rather.
And why?
Because actually, how can I put it? My values, actually what my parents passed on to me, is not at all in line with that. And what I think about our country is not at all in line with what they think. We're not on the same wavelength at all. You see what I mean?
Sir, come look. He's a protester specifically. You can talk with him.
Me? I don't talk with that kind of person.
But why? Is it because of what you think or what you believe he thinks? That's the point.
We completely disagree.
Yes, but agree with what? The debate didn't happen. So why are you here? Tell me.
Oh, well, we're here for our flag, we're here for our country, and we're also here for the future, for our children too. We're also here to fight a little so that our country can be proud of our flag again. Me, I'm reaching 45 years old. I never thought I would ever do this one day. You see, I'm from the 80s, let's say. And we lived much better back then. Today, I'm here fighting for the future, especially for my children. That's important for me and everyone's children. For France, if we don't fight today, tomorrow is lost. Many people around me tell me they've given up and don't want to leave France. People who are actually in pretty good situations, let's say, and they all want to leave because honestly, they don't even want to fight anymore. Me, I don't want to. I say today we have to fight to keep our country and our pride and everything we have today. So beautiful. People no longer realize this about the country.
It's still sad. All of this?
It's kind of true. We have a beautiful country, we have wonderful customs and traditions, we have beautiful landscapes, we have beautiful architecture. We're erasing everything. I'm coming because I can't take it. And I think about my children who tell me themselves, Mom, you're lucky you experienced the 80s, and they tell me you're lucky. We won't get to experience that. It's sad, and if we don't act now, it'll clearly be over.
Do you think things have gotten worse? Yes, but the left says no, it's the same as before. Before, people didn't talk as much about crime, but there was just as much of it.
It's gotten worse, it's gotten a lot worse, and even my children who are in their early 30s also think that things have gotten worse since their teenage years. So yes, it's gotten a lot worse. I don't go out as I want. When I talk to people, as soon as I say that I love our flag, I'm called all sorts of names.
That wasn't the case when you were young, was it?
No, not at all.
That's true, because here, we're at the heart of the matter.
No, it wasn't like that when I was young. I'm nearly 60. No, me, I was born at the end of the 60s. My teenage years were in the 80s. No, I didn't used to have this fear. Even my kids say, Mom, you're lucky to have lived through the 80s. You're the last generation to know France as it was. They're barely 30 years old.
So what do we do to counter all that?
First, we meet up, stop sending Instagram reels, and engage in the real world. Too many people think they're being active just by liking things online. They think liking something makes them active, but they're actually passive. Real change comes from being out in the street with everyone. It's better to have one less like and one more person. Well, that's what I think. Unfortunately, when you try to motivate them, they often make excuses. Here, we're not doing anything drastic or returning to old habits.
Yes, you are in the process of overturning the power.
That's it. So if you're not able, I think, to join a march, it's going to be hard to make the famous revolution. Division is effective, but what matters are those present, not those absent. The absent are always wrong. What matters is seeing everyone present. That's fine, since many people remain.
There are a lot of people, there really are, it has to be said.
It's okay, Vincent.
Chill. Well, wow, you're a champion.
It worked well. In the video, I saw the comments. A lot of people recognized themselves in me. And yeah, it's just...
Did you have any problems after the video?
Listen, I received a lot of support, but I did have some problems since I live in a sensitive Islamized suburb, Argenteuil. And so, yes, there were some who recognized me, who gave me a hard time, you know.
And is the challenge still the same for you?
Listen, you know I was at Tommy Robinson's rally in London. Oh yeah? So what? Believe it or not, I've traveled a lot. I've seen almost all of Europe for years now. And what I feel is that there really is a rebirth of the patriotic spirit. It's like it was at a minimum, almost gone, but people have woken up, you know? Especially through the youth. I spoke with Germans, English, and Spaniards. It's impossible to stop now. Globalism is facing resistance, and young people are becoming aware. It's a genuine cry from the people. No, we're not going to die under Davos, BlackRock, Islam, or the leftists, you see? So I think this is the beginning of something huge, and even a civilizational turning point, to be honest. Oh yeah? I really think that's what it is. Yes, of course. Oh yeah.
Do you have hope?
Yeah, I have hope. Seeing things like, especially when we travel, even in France, gives me hope. I had little hope before, but now, after what I've seen, it's returning.
I'm very worried. It takes a lot for me to act, but now I can't take it anymore. I need to get out. I need to say what's on my mind too. And I love France and I won't leave it. I will fight to preserve our values, our customs, our history. All countries have blemishes in their history, but overall we should be proud of who we are. And also, it's for all our ancestors who fought so that we could have what we have today. We owe it to our parents, grandparents, and all those people. We should also honor them.
Yes, but ma'am, I want to ask you, who did you vote for all these years?
I assure you, I didn't vote for Macron or anyone in the government. I say it and I stand by it. I give myself the right to criticize because I know why I voted and my opinion has never been heard.
All right.
I vote for a France that remains as it was, a beautiful country that stood for something valuable, and not one that is trampled now like it is, which is the reality, the laughingstock of the whole world. That makes me very sad to see my country being trampled on, the flag being trampled on. Yes, I'm very sad. This isn't what I want. I want to see a France that is proud of what it is, proud of its history, proud of its landscapes, proud of its customs, proud of its cuisine, proud of its writers. France as it was, as I knew it.
Hello, Ben. It's our first meeting, and I'm pleased.
Yeah, man, after all this time, you know.
Yeah.
So, you never share news, Vincent?
Are you kidding? So why all this?
Why all this? Did you see what they did at Place de la République? When you see all those tags with the Palestinian flag and a protest with only Palestinian flags, CGT flags, and the few French flags we have, do they rip them down? It really hurts your heart, actually. And from there, I told myself, no, this can't be happening. We created several videos with other influencers and TikTokers who are here with us, right in front. And we said, stop, we can't tarnish the flag like that. We can't say it's a far-right flag, etc. This flag is for all of us. We must respect and be proud of it.
Are you proud to be French?
I'm proud to be French. I only know France and I'm of Algerian origin. But my father, he came to France for a better life. He succeeded, he made it. That means he worked hard to raise us, so we wouldn't lack anything. And today, France has given me everything. And when I joined the army, that's when I discovered my love for France. The army is truly a close-knit family, and that's what it represents. It's a sample of France, and I hope people of all origins will love it as much as I do.
People always want to stay connected to their roots, no matter what happens or what anyone says.
No one actually wants to be?
No one wants to be, exactly. We're returning to patriotic values. Not sure if you've seen Sacred Heart, but it went viral. It shows that there's a revival of the community feeling, white, Christian, and European. There's a sense of unity that's being reborn. Because you see, in England, for example, when you make a post and you get 3 years in jail, you know, when you get a kid because of a grooming gang, you see, it tends to create a bit of unity. To such an extent, we're constantly being hit by globalism through Islam and the entire left. It brings unity since we're all in the same situation now. So there are those who accept it who, how should I say, well, who accept it because they're in the 16th district, you know, so of course it's fine for them, you see. Immigration, but it's 30 kilometers from home.
And in the 16th district, it's starting, huh?
Yes, it's starting, but it's starting.
I've done reports over there, it's starting.
Yeah, but it's going to be everywhere. Because actually the left is the idea and the right is the reality.
Did you think it's reversible or not?
Yes, if people put in a little more effort. Because I think the French are still quite hesitant. They want change, but not many of them actually do something about it.
But they're also afraid to stand up for their ideas at work, fearing criticism or even being fired. They're afraid, for example, of having problems with their family and so on.
There's nothing wrong with loving your country. Who feels ashamed of their own country? Go see an American, he's proud of the United States. Go see, I don't know, a German, he'll tell you he's proud of his country. Go see an Algerian, he'll tell you he's proud of Algeria. Why should we be ashamed to say that we're French, that we love our country? It doesn't even have a political color to love your country. That's just how it is. We're French, we love our country. If you don't love your country, you go somewhere else.
So the left claims that patriotism automatically excludes others?
No, because I don't. Everyone who comes to France and accepts France as it is, who comes to France because they love France, who accept its laws, its customs, and so on. I don't mind that. What bothers me is people who are ungrateful. If you don't like a place, just leave. Personally, I can't see myself going to live in a country that I don't like, that will reject me or anything like that.
Do you have hope?
Yes, I have hope. Why? I believe the silent majority, quiet for years, is now finally speaking up to say stop. And honestly, when I see, without television media, the number of people we have today, I tell myself that it's exceptional. And people are waiting for this. That is to say, people don't say anything. When the French people wake up, I believe many things will happen. Hopefully good ones.
Will you be in England? Will you be in jail?
Yes, exactly. I'll be in jail.
Did you do it with me?
Yes, I'll be in jail. Yes, but you know it's the country with the most arrests for posts. There are more arrests here than in Belarus, China, or similar countries. It's crazy. The problem with people, which is starting to change, fortunately, but citizens in general, they tend to think from an assumed baseline, like, yes, we have rights, etc. But no, absolutely not. 30 years ago, who would have thought England, you're looking at 3 years behind bars? Now they want to make the chatbot. I don't know what it's called, you know, to look at every private message, etc. The government. So freedom isn't made with flowers, but with sacrifice, blood, and struggle. We have to fight for freedom. You see, there's no choice. Macron got carried away with his top. Do you see us here? He only acted during the yellow vests because his image was at risk.
When the protest was 50 meters from the Élysée Palace?
Yeah, exactly. But the official, anyway, he'll never resign. He's a psychopath. Afterwards, I don't expect anything from politicians. On the other hand, I expect a lot from the people. You see, that's Etienne de la Boétie's theory. You see, they're powerful because they know we're on our knees, but especially the youth. We're beginning to rediscover our values, homeland, and Christian faith. Also, you see, to the roots of our civilization, they might struggle more than expected, given the presence of leftists and Islamists. Afterwards, as I mentioned, in the suburbs, there are Palestinian flags everywhere, you know? 3/4 of the shops no longer sell pork, no longer sell alcohol. You have to see what that means too, right? You get attacked, you have a flag, you're white, you get attacked. You see, that's all. That's the only criterion you see. You're white, you get attacked. It's very community-based. I'm serious. We'll never escape this. Do you think Islam is like Woodstock or flower power? No, it's jihad. Peace and love alone won't get us there. We'll just have to fight, that's all. I've been to countries at war. I was in Burma during the war. I was in Armenia during the war. I was in Ukraine under the bombings. France is even more dangerous than the countries actually at war, you see? After returning from bombings in Kiev, Ukraine, I arrived in Paris and thought, what a crazy country this is. We don't notice it, we just get used to it.
But it's like a frog?
It's the frog, it's Overton's window, that's it, we get used to it.
It's more complex, as many Muslims here simply want to practice their faith. Their faith command to wear the veil in public spaces, to eat halal, etc. And so, inevitably, since there are more and more of them, it changes the face of France.
But it's a problem of numbers.
Without hostility?
Yes, but that's the issue with numbers. I did get to visit Abu Dhabi and see some places. I wore an abaya to visit a mosque and removed my shoes as requested. I also changed my street attire when told. It's not my country. I accept and respect these customs.
But it's their country. They were born in France, and for many of them, they are French.
Not really French, because they don't accept our culture. They can practice their faith at home. There's no problem with that. Me, I don't show off with a huge cross, even though I'm Catholic. I'll say I respect it. I do it at home. I'm not going to pray in the street, and I see some people who do. I find it dramatic. Faith is something personal. The problem with Islam is that it's both political and a religion. Actually, it's like a state religion. But no, from the moment you come to a country that gives you the opportunity to live, to enjoy everything, you respect it. It's true the issue now is the numbers, since that's what we're fighting for. They'll make a difference. That the day when we surpass the majority with Muslims who want to practice their religion openly, France will be erased. I don't want that. The numbers are becoming dangerous and could upset the balance of values. Yes, that's for sure, but if we don't want to be erased, we have to fight. We have to fight to keep being heard and to be able to defend our customs. Discussing Christmas, Easter, and All Saints' Day as our history.
How beautiful. Let's move to the front of the procession and see what's going on. Someone's shouting fascist up there. Let's go. So actually in the procession they're shouting fascist at them because of their intolerance, in my opinion. He's giving the finger.
Yes, it's not the first to me.
It's not the first time, yes?
Come down, you're scared! Why are you alone there? Why are you scared, you filthy leftist?
Get out of France!
Get out of France!
Get out!
It's still crazy though. Those who have the French flag call a leftist who gives the middle finger from his window a fascist. Honestly, if someone had told me I'd experience this one day, I wouldn't have believed it. It's completely flipped, actually. Ben, he is in the procession. I'll explain why he's in the middle of the procession. You're Ben's brother, the Patriot, right?
Yeah, I don't agree with him at all.
But it's true, why?
To me, it's racism masked as patriotism, no.
But you're Ben's brother, right? Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, why would I lie?
It's true that you look like him, but then for you, your brother is racist?
No. I'm not saying that, but let's say he does fuel a lot of division.
For example, here, we have a protester. There you go, come over here.
No, but I don't want to get worked up either.
No, but it's not a big deal. We have here, right in front of us, Ben's brother, the Patriot. Yes, I heard about it, and he says that this protest is an act of racism.
Disguised as patriotism.
Excuse me, but it's odd for a racist protest to include black people, Arabs, Asians, and Latinos.
I'm not saying they're all racist. I'm saying that when we hear, we are at home, it means that a part of the French community is being excluded. No.
Only the French are at home, that's normal. But if you are French, you are at home too, no?
Of course. But I mean, no, but that's what's annoying. I mean, when we shout, we are at home, it means exactly what it means. And in the video, when Ben says you...
When you are at home, you are at home?
Of course.
It's the same for France.
Look at Vincent Lapierre, for example. Vincent Lapierre, he interviews anyone. Everyone gets a chance to speak with him. Some people attack him and insult France. Have you ever experienced that? He was called a dirty white and dirty Frenchman, and his flag was burned. At some point, you have to act. We can't ignore that. We're in France and must defend it.
No, but I have nothing. I saw videos I still thought were unfair, like shops with signs in Arabic. I think something like that, saying that we have to understand that we're in France, even though we haven't been to the shops in the 19th district. Some say the large Jewish community here feels like Tel Aviv. I disagree, but we can express our opinions and debate. That's what I saw in the videos.
It's about numbers. Many French people feel France is becoming Islamized.
But that's the media. It's normal. The media says it, so people will believe it's official. Muslims make up 7-10% of the population. Is it a problem that there are Muslims in France?
You want my opinion? My honest one?
Yeah.
In large numbers. Too many, yes.
And how?
Because it changes the face of France, it changes its DNA, it changes its culture, it changes its main religion, etc. If Muslims become the majority in France, France will become Muslim. And for that, the French have the right to say no, they have the right to disagree with that.
So actually, that's the great replacement theory, right?
You have to look at the demographics, you have to study that. But yes, according to demographic projections, in 2100 there will be more Muslims than...
I'm of Algerian origin, and over there, I mean the great replacement. It's more visible when you see the Algerian population speaking French. So we too can say that France has left something behind. We Muslims in France speak and work just like everyone else. I mean, they're going to pull one over on us. Yeah, just like in history, the Jews, it started like that. That's what happened with the persecution of the Jews. Muslims make up 7-10% of the community, so we'll focus on that group, not everyone. They live like any French people, with families, so what's the issue? They don't show it, they don't shout from the rooftops that they're Muslim, so what's the problem, what is it?
The problem is that most of the attacks come from people who are from working class neighborhoods. I've seen the projects and been around, there's no problem. Some people are really good. That's the truth, so don't lump everyone together. But every time we see groups of, thugs in the street, it's always, Wallah, the Quran of Makkah, subhanallah, things like that. When they commit assaults while drunk, they swear on the Quran of Mecca. They say, you French, Islam will dominate, France will be Muslim whether you like it or not, and now France belongs to us. Maybe not you, but there are a lot of people who say that, who think that, and who have the goal of doing that in the future. To conquer France by any means, that's the truth.
So actually you're here against that. You're not here for patriotic pride, so you're here to fight. So patriotic pride is an attack against...
Actually, the thing is, France has an identity. Like Muslims preserving their identity, that's what they're doing with all their actions. They seek mosques and halal butcher shops to maintain their identity. For me, it's the same thing for the French, except that the French are here, I would say they have prerogatives because they were here first in France on this territory. So they want France to mostly keep this culture. Are you against that?
Well, the symbol, the motto is liberty, equality, fraternity, so we are free.
It's the Republic of France.
Well, yes, but France is the Republic.
No, France is more than just the Republic.
The Republic is 200 years old?
France is 1500 years old.
No, but France isn't your opinion. Besides, it's for you, the French Christian identity, etc. When I go to visit a church, I see it's up to you to bring that identity back to life. It's not because there are Muslims living their religion that you will.
Well, look, that's what they want.
Yes, but hold on. No, I mean in everyday life, not this gathering organized by...
The French assert their identity, but you call them racists, that's a problem. When the French gather to assert their identity, as you call on them to do, you say they're racist?
No, not at all. I talked with people.
The Cross of Lorraine, Free France, French flags, and the Marseillaise represent and affirm France's identity.
All right.
So when they do it, you tell me they're racist?
No.
You said they're racist.
I'll answer.
Yes, please.
I said there were racist slogans, like France is ours, rejecting others, but I didn't say I met wonderful people. They opposed that slogan saying, we love the French of all faiths and origins. So I won't call them racist for what they said. But there are people, I've heard them, who really outright rejected the part of the French community of North African origin and Muslim faith. You can't tell me otherwise that among those people, there are people like that.
There is a fear. Regarding a growth, a population that doesn't want to be French, that wants to be what it is, that is Muslim. And that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that.
Without CNews, BFM television and similar channels wouldn't exist. I don't think we'd be here always blaming the same people. That's it. For me, it's a gathering, a racist one. That's it. There are people there with good intentions who are not racist. But the very purpose of this gathering is that it's a gathering that is not patriotic anyway.
Actually, he says it's a gathering where there are racists. He's Ben the Patriot's brother, so he's against it because of his brother's business. The French don't rely on television for their views. We
came because this is a movement that is absolutely not fascist. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. But
I don't think so.
No, but that's it. It's neutral. It's really completely apolitical. Otherwise, we would never have come either. I'm Jewish, he's not. We would never have come.
I'm not fully French, but we're here, proud of our values and defending them, and we have to respect them.
I came to France, which allowed me to study, to become who I am today, so I thank France for that.
I'll add one thing, my brother. He supports France, they want to live together, etc. Good intentions. But there are still people who said that because he is Muslim, Islam is not compatible with France. So some even rejected these ideas, so they said that Islam is not compatible. Do you realize the message here? So that means that even a Muslim who is patriotic, who loves France, is rejected because he is Muslim?
Let me be honest. I think it's really about the numbers. When you have a cultural majority and cultural minorities, things go well. But when you have two cultural majorities, that's just how people are. Things start to go wrong. That's the truth.
But the Muslims make up 7 to 10% of France. They're not 50%, they're 7 to 10%.
Do you believe Islamized neighborhoods are real or just a fantasy? That's my question to you.
Fantasy? Media and CNews are just fantasies.
Do you like to read or not?
Well, yes, I do like to read.
Can I suggest some sources to you? There are many well-documented books on this topic, like The Lost Territories of the Republic, The Conquered Territories of Islamism, A Submissive France, and works by Florence Bergeau-Blaclair. There are neighborhoods where political Islam and Salafism are dominant. That's the reality.
What is Islamization? Is it that there are more and more young people who are Muslim? From what I read, there is an awakening. Yes, mosques are getting more crowded, but we see that as positive.
I have no problem with Muslims as individuals. On the other hand, I'll tell you the truth. I live in a place in the Paris suburbs. Sometimes I go out, I go to shopping malls. Honestly, I feel like I'm in the Middle East, not France. Why? When I go out, I see veiled women, little girls in veils, and sometimes women in burqas. Is that normal? I see women in niqab. Is that normal?
That's the technique. Fear, fear, fear.
No, it's just an observation, that's all it is.
Is it? Why is it wrong to feel like you're not in France when you live this reality, when it's so widespread actually?
When I visit small towns or the countryside with only French people, as they say, they look at me like a foreigner, even though I was born, raised, and educated in France. Is it normal for people to stare at me like that when I'm French?
I agree that it's not a good thing, but actually it says something about society. And actually, there are divisions. I'm not saying it's good actually to look at people based on their background or anything. That's not the mentality I want to have. But at some point, you can't deny the problems. Communitarianism has expanded in France for 40 years. Hatred of France and white people in some neighborhoods. And in fact, over time, we can't help but understand that this fuels hatred on both sides. I was going to say, that's why multiculturalism for me isn't a good thing either. We each live in separate communities and don't always share the same culture, which isn't always good for living together.
Yes, but when you talked about shopping malls, you mentioned Maghrebis filling the shopping malls. All that, I mean, what's the point?
I didn't necessarily mention North Africans, I mentioned veiled women. It's just an observation, but when I visit those shopping centers near me, about 80% of the women are veiled. I see women in jilbab. The jilbab is an outfit you see in Iran. It's really the Salafist veil actually, you know? It's a small veil, but I see young girls wearing them. Is it?
The Muslim religion, to say this, it is...
Wait, what am I signing? Can we say we oppose this without hating all Muslims? Can we say we don't want 8-year-old girls wearing veils? Can we say that it's not necessarily part of our European French culture? Can we say that we're shocked when we see this developing?
No, but yes, you see, I've never seen an 8-year-old girl wearing a veil. But you know, all it takes is for you to see one. No, but all it takes is for you. All it takes is for you to see one. And you say that's the Islamization of France, but that's not, it's just one among, I don't know how many millions and millions. But wait, now I worked in the 19th arrondissement, home to Europe's largest Jewish community, I believe. And I mean, over there, that's what happens. And but who's going to complain about that? They close on Saturdays. I let you finish. Muslims don't close on Fridays. They close shops on Saturday. No one in France asks why they close on Saturday. It bothers us, but they practice their religion. Can Muslims do the same?
Yes, but I don't see, I'm sorry, but I don't see. I don't see Jewish communalism like I can see Muslim communalism. You see, I don't see it. It's not the same thing at all.
It's a question of numbers. It's a question of numbers.
Earlier, I explained to you, I don't know if you were there, but I explained that I accompanied 2 people. So I'm not a communitarian. I accompanied 2 people who were disabled to their hotel, and the person said to me, yes, it's only black and Arab people who block the road. Even though I accompanied them, I helped them out. I'm still not a communitarian.
Muslims are communitarians. Be careful.
You seem to be saying, in case I don't know, I just heard that?
No, not at all. Because in the protest, there are Muslims too. There's no problem with that. They claim communitarianism is rising, but it's really a failure of integration caused by certain policies, which explains its increase. You see, I regret that. Ideally, I'd like us to be a united France, regardless of religion. But there are realities we must face. We've been in denial for about 40 years. And actually, for me, I'll tell you, there will be community clashes if we do nothing, and we have to face that reality.
The reality is that a lot of people are focused on the media, or that the media only shows what they want to show. There was a demonstration for Palestine, and the cameras focused on 2 individuals, 2 twisted people who started burning the Israeli flag. So they fixated on that, and that's how the demonstration was portrayed, but actually that's not how it really happened. But it just took 2 individuals out of I don't know how many thousands for people to point fingers at the Muslim community.
But is that true? Did anyone nearby intervene? It's not just 2 people, it's them and everyone else present who may have even applauded or praised it. That is to say, there's an atmosphere, there's a trend nonetheless.
No, it's the police's job to intervene, not for people to step in or hesitate.
Someone burns a flag or something, and the people around will say, get out of here, this isn't for you.
The Palestinian flag, it was trampled on or something somewhere during the protest. I support the people of Gaza because they're being exterminated, that's my right. When I saw people displaying the Palestinian flag at home or in windows, I thought it's their space and they can do what they want. That's normal, is it or isn't it? We never mentioned the Ukrainian flag, but now people are displaying the Palestinian flag in their windows.
It's also a response to the fact that often in protests, it's taken over by the far left. And actually, we often see those Palestinian flags there in those protests. We also see flags from Algeria, from all kinds of countries. The protest concerns the French social context, which also annoys people. We never see French flags, only flags from other countries. Sometimes people with a French flag are attacked or insulted. It feels like you can't even bring out a French flag at a protest anymore without being looked down on, you know?
That could actually be a response to that.
It's that too. Honestly, I've never seen anyone insult the French flag. When there's the World Cup, when France wins the World Cup, don't we see North Africans coming out with the French flag? Huh? Muslims coming out with the flag?
Honestly, I'm from Romans-sur-Isère, which is near there, Thomas Crépol, and so on. When France won the World Cup, I'll tell you, I saw something clear. There were French people celebrating the victory, the World Cup. Most French people were white, but some were of other races as well. And there was a very strong difference with, let's say, the Maghrebis, who were more with their own flag from Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia. That really struck me. I honestly thought, this isn't normal. They should be with us, wearing the French flag and jersey, but instead, what do they have? They have Algerian jerseys, Algerian and Moroccan flags, and more. That's when I realized there was a divide. I thought, we're not truly united, you know? I regretted that. I'm not saying I was happy about it, but I regretted it.
That's not what I saw. I lived in Montreuil for 14 years. I saw French flags, though there aren't many French people. But but the Portuguese too, when they win, I mean, they all come out with the Portuguese flag, the Italians with the Italian flag. Why? Algerian flag, that would be a problem.
Italy is not the same. I swear, the integration of Italians went well. The integration of certain populations?
The integration of North Africans, it didn't go well. That's exactly what you just said.
It's not the same thing, I'm sorry to say. That doesn't mean we're stigmatizing everyone. There are North Africans who share my views. But it means that, in fact, integration didn't happen in the same way. It didn't, that's it. It didn't go as well as previous immigration waves. That's mainly because we stopped the policy of assimilation, the assimilation policy that actually allowed us to have, no matter your origins, you were French first with a shared culture. We stopped that. So actually, that's why little by little, a sense of community started to grow. You see, it's also connected to that.
Afterwards, it's true. On that point, I agree with you that Algerians are proud of their flag. That's true. They're very nationalistic. I don't see anything wrong with that. Honestly, what's bad about it? If you do, what is it?
Does French nationalism bother you?
Not at all. I said that.
Well, you started to come and to call it a racist demonstration?
No.
Yes, you said that, honestly.
No, yes. So I said yes, that's it.
Under the guise of patriotism, it was a racist demonstration.
No, I saw the videos of Ben Amma, my brother. I saw his videos.
Do you think your brother is racist?
No. Huh. What? But in any case, he has said he has had some strong statements. I wouldn't say he's racist because he's North African. But wait, what do you call that? When he says that my daughter's first day of school was like, it looked like an Algerian, Tunisian or Moroccan first day.
But you see, he says it himself. He says that at some point in some schools.
No, we're talking about the kids here. These are kids who, at school, haven't done anything wrong. And people say it looks like they're kids from the Maghreb or something like that. Are they French or not? They are French. The children of...
He said it felt like we were in Algeria during back to school. And he even said that, in fact, he said exactly what I was telling you just a moment ago. He said that almost all the women were veiled. He said he even saw a woman in a full veil. And he regretted that. Actually, he felt like we weren't in France. You see, in the end, he's saying the same thing as me.
When we talk about the full veil, we're talking about...
Origin and lamenting that, actually.
But we're not talking about the veil. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the majority, well, about North Africans, where people say there are too many North Africans. That's racism to me. If we're not considered French, that's racism.
Like Vincent was saying, it's a question of numbers. As an individual.
Do they themselves consider themselves French, actually?
That's it. There's that too, him too.
Of course, they consider themselves French. In fact, the problem, there really is a question about that. No, when we talk about children who are Maghrebi, of Maghrebi origin, and we say that it feels like it's a return to the Maghreb. But do you believe those are just words?
There you go. It's a dynamic, actually. That is, the less they see themselves as French, the less we see them as French, because they themselves create a division, actually.
I'll give you an example. Nadine Morano, who said, when you go to Gare du Nord, don't you feel like you're not in France, but in Africa? She didn't say, when you visit the 13th district, it feels like China instead of France. She didn't say that. Do you feel like you're in Israel when you visit the 19th district? No, in Africa there's a problem. It's with Africans and North Africans, that's the problem. From then on, it's normal there are no North Africans at the protest, since it feels directed at them.
There are.
Yeah.
There will always be some, but on El Net, Islam versus the Republic. Maybe one or two Muslims, but they're not...
It's because communitarianism is strongest in those communities. That's why. If there were an extreme form of communitarianism, Spanish or American, we'd regret it, but that's clearly not happening. Unfortunately, that's the reality, though I'm not happy to say it. It's mostly within the Arab Muslim communities, basically, that we're going to feel a certain problem. A refusal to integrate, hatred of France, and wanting to impose a culture instead of joining French culture. You see, that's also why actually this feeling is more present. That's it.
There's a driving force behind that too. The left actually encourages it, likely for electoral reasons. And they're definitely going to use that lever to encourage this communitarianism because it suits them, actually.
They mention New France themselves and don't deny the creolization you refer to. Who mentions New France? Well, yes, Mélenchon. He claims that France is changing its face, and that's very good. It's a good thing. But you say that's not true.
No, the gathering is France. It's association, France of diversity, or rather patriots of diversity. But that's not logical, Ben.
If the idea is that diversity should
address these French flags, no, you're saying that it's gaining ground, that Muslims, Arab Muslims are gaining ground. So you're against that kind of diversity, right? Actually, diversity when you are, well, what do you really want?
We're not against diversity. We're saying that diversity needs to be regulated. It needs to happen within certain limits. And actually, when there are people from all backgrounds, there's no problem. As long as there's gradual assimilation, etc., there's no problem. When there are places, when there are areas where there are only Arab Muslims, well, actually, there's no more integration into France. It's simply a reproduction of cultures from the original countries. And a family arriving in that context
can't
assimilate, even if they wanted to. How could they? Is it possible? Ben's peers may be of North African origin and feel Algerian, unlike their parents. How do you plan to integrate them? So there is once again, it comes back to the numbers, you see. It comes back to the concentration.
And it's completely human, by the way, because you find this phenomenon when French people find themselves abroad, and there are a lot of them, and actually the less they integrate, the more they stick together. That's something I've seen a lot in my travels.
Did you see, do you remember the rally against Islamophobia or not? Well, that rally. They sang the Marseillaise at Place de la Nation. So that wasn't shown in the media, but that's normal. It's normal. We don't want to show Muslims who assimilate to France. And I found that outrageous. Yes, there are other problems. Well, 10,000, no, it was 10,000 people at Place de la Nation singing the Marseillaise. And now you're telling me that Muslims don't integrate. So I still find that a bit inappropriate. I find it inappropriate because, they showed it. That's it, because we're Muslims. We say Allahu Akbar, we say it all the time. It's normal, we're believers. Like, they wanted to show that this phrase Allahu Akbar wasn't a threat. They said it during the protest. And that, of course, CNews, they focused on it, and that's how the protest went. They shouted Allahu Akbar, but the Marseillaise, that they didn't broadcast it. They didn't broadcast it. And why? Why? I would like to know why. Or can you answer that for me? Why didn't they broadcast the fact that Muslims sang the Marseillaise at Place de la Nation? No?
We don't know, and that's why I'm here, actually.
That's dishonesty. I'll give you the media.
In length, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you.
But the thing is, you're not answering the question about the number, because deep down...
Should we stop having children? Should Muslims stop having children?
Stop bringing in people. We must stop continuing to bring in mass immigration when there are already problems. When the bathtub is full, the first instinct is... turn off the tap, then solve the problems. This affects all of us, including you. But actually, it's going to encourage divisions, it's going to encourage separatism on both sides. And actually, we're going to end up fighting each other. And that's not the goal. Whether it's on our side, in quotes, or on yours, that's not the goal, actually. So actually, everyone should want us to stop immigration because it has caused too many problems. And we need to solve the problems that are already here. No matter where you're from or your background, that should unite us all. I don't get why leftists support immigration despite all the problems. I just don't understand it.
What do you mean by communitarianism?
Communitarianism is when, even after generations as French, you identify as Algerian or with your ethnic or cultural community first. You might decide, for example, to put a veil on your little girl. It's things like that, things like that. You're going to challenge the values, the republic. You'll claim, for example, that Charlie Hebdo deserved to die because the prophet, they didn't have the insult. Well, you know what I mean, right? It's that kind of thing.
Now, we're moving on to another topic, but I saw a lot more hatred about the death of Abu Bakr, about the death of the Tunisian guy, I can't remember his name. But I never saw any Muslims rejoicing over the death of Samuel Paty. I looked at the comments on YouTube, I never saw it. But on the other hand, horrors about Abu Bakr and I only saw horrible things.
Not to mention extremism, I'm talking to you about insidious things. When you have schools where, in fact, the students can't eat because it's Ramadan, and actually they are looked down upon if they eat during Ramadan, where the little girls basically are encouraged to hide themselves, to wear the veil because it's considered immodest to dress in the European way. For me, that's communitarianism. It's not extremism, but it's insidious. It's a shift in mentality and culture.
We must separate from our religion and culture to truly be French.
Not necessarily. Well, yes.
Well, there are religions while being French. So is it... The thing is, if this religion imposes laws that contradict the laws of the country, if you want to integrate, you have to follow the laws of the country first before applying the laws of the religion. That's kind of the problem for the high school student. It's that it's not just a religion, actually. It's a religion and a whole civil code. Sharia. The problem is that, as a result, it comes into conflict. You see elements of that law that are going to contradict national law.
Religion is, people practice their religion in private. They have the right to have spirituality. And
there is no private. It extends into public space.
I lived in Montreuil. I lived in the 93. I've never seen anyone pray in the street. I've never seen a single Muslim pray. And even if there is one, let's say I saw only once on the platform of a station. But honestly, are you going to lump millions of Muslims together by making people believe they pray in the streets? Because we saw one who actually did it, but that's not the point.
It's an exaggeration. No,
The debate is really interesting. I'm loving it.
It's a combination of things. You're talking about Montreuil. I go to Montreuil from time to time. I'm sorry, but I can tell you that when I go to Montreuil, honestly, I don't feel like I'm in France. I saw a woman in a hijab there, walking around calmly. Yes, but actually, no, but yes, but it's a whole, listen to me, it's a whole. A woman in a niqab, sure, but around her, all the women are veiled once again.
A 6-year-old girl in a miniskirt. I saw a 6-year-old girl in a miniskirt. I find that shocking. It attracts. That's it.
I can barely hear it. In the part of Montreuil I visit, almost no one speaks French. Most women are veiled and some wear niqab. In that context, it's clear I don't feel like I'm in France. You see...
Is it racist to say that? Is it? Do you understand it or not?
No, I'm not saying it's racist, but I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Because if they want to talk about their language, they can. Do we also have the right to talk about our language? We have the right to talk about our language too, right? The Chinese in the 13th. The Chinese, they speak their language. You're not going to criticize the Chinese?
But that's it. Actually, you don't get it. The question is the number. Actually, it's when it feels like one culture is taking over another. In France, people come from diverse backgrounds. My mother was Italian and from Morocco. You see, there are lots of communities in France from all backgrounds. There are Chinese restaurants. There are, you see what I mean? That's not a problem at all. The problem is when you walk around in a place and actually there are so many people from a certain culture that you feel like you're more in the Middle East, for example, than in a European country. That's the thing.
A little story. Well, there was a time when an assistant principal saw my two Maghrebi colleagues greet each other by saying Salem alaikum, and the assistant principal said, no, I'm not in favor of us greeting each other, that's it, we're in France. But on the other hand, it didn't bother her when my other colleagues greeted each other by saying hello. Or when host families bring Maghrebi dishes. All that wasn't a problem, but why was saying Salem alaikum a problem? Why did she dare to ask? We're in France and saying hello shouldn't be a problem. Salam alaikum is just a greeting.
We could repeat what you said, but this is a special case. The principal said it.
But in this case...
But you say that's what you do. Oh, it's a special case for the woman, but it seems you're giving us a special case here too. You have to defend yourself.
I think if there's a context, the hello in question, I can say hello however I want, just like I can say hi however I want. You know what I mean? He has no issue with the community. Hello, it's an English word. I don't see any excessive communitarianism, English or American. It's not a problem. It's just about context. You see what I mean? There's actually no infiltration from any English extremist movement. So when we hear hello...
Some might say America holds cultural hegemony over France.
That's true. It's true that Hollywood and so on. That's true, but in any case, I don't feel that way. I mean, France, for me, isn't threatened by, I don't know, by immigration and an intensified communitarianism, possibly from England or Anglo-Saxon countries. So hearing hello isn't the same as hearing the other greeting. But unfortunately...
So everyone, all those who speak Arabic, it's a threat. Me, I'm...
He never said that.
I'll add that saying salam alaikum in a mosque is fine. Pray, do Ramadan, and interact with fellow believers as you wish. But when you say salam alaikum at work, it's because you recognize someone as a Muslim. Maybe we can feel that it's a bit like communitarianism and a kind of preference. That's what I mean.
Question, what do you think about the flyers that were banned for Muslims not so long ago? There are flyers that say forbidden to Muslims. What do you think about that?
I'm obviously against it. I'm not for that either. We're not for banning Muslims. That's obvious. We have to speak out. Also,
they say it's taking over, and if so, eventually the person who distributed the flyers will say, that's enough.
He's got a point, though. I admit he's got a point. It's true that no, but it's true. The thing is, well, yes, there are more and more Muslims, so it's hard for us to say that it's a problem, and you say, well, look, for you it's a problem, and for him it's hard to say yes. Actually, to take responsibility.
Me really hitting the sore spot? Yes, I'm Jewish. Do I have the right to wear my kippah when I go out in the street? He says, if you say salam alaikum, you'll be safe, but we can't wear the kippah in public now. This is much more serious. Let him answer me.
Of course, yes.
Salam alaikum means peace be upon you for people who don't speak Arabic. So where is the peace? Me, I live here. I'm unable to go out and say I'm Jewish around nation because I'll get attacked, but of course I live in nation. Each week there's a protest yelling against Jews. All right? Do I have the right to say now, I'm asking this gentleman because he seems reasonable, does he want to accept? I say me too. I'm Jewish with my own way of speaking and prayers, etc. But we integrate. We keep a low profile. We hide. We don't shout at others. because he just said, we wear a mini skirt. It's not good. It's not good. You didn't say that earlier, did you?
He said it was shocking to see an 8-year-old girl wearing a veil, but I've never seen that myself. But, well, that's one among millions. So I replied by saying that there are also 6-year-old girls who wear miniskirts, but that's not... Those are isolated cases. No, but those are isolated cases.
No, that's part of our culture. The veil at 8 years old, that's not part of it. That's the difference. The veil at 8 years old, that's not part of our culture.
Which is good.
Then, actually, we're not allowed to have a culture, actually, so that's what we should do.
What's good is that we manage to talk to each other without fighting. That's what's important. And that's what he means. He means that we shouldn't create closed-off communities and that point fingers at others saying, you have to do like me. That's the problem. I mean, saying you have to do like me, but no.
The kippa, for example. I absolutely have a badly written chalet. The kippa, it's not part of French culture, is it?
There's a cultural problem. But no, it's not a cultural problem. No, that's not culture. That's religion. It's not culture.
There's a historical background.
The miniskirt hasn't existed for decades. In France, it appeared over a century ago. Miniskirts were worn by prostitutes.
Yes, but morals have evolved. There has been a collective evolution of morals, and actually...
An evolution, when it suits you, actually.
In the 80s, the miniskirt was one of the symbols precisely of freedom.
At the heart of the matter, we need to talk about what is in the Quran and what the Quran recommends for women.
No, we're not going to get into that.
When I read the Quran, I was shocked, and that's right at the start. It's that one voice. You need 2 women in court to equal the voice of one man, meaning from a strictly legal point of view. A woman is worth half a man. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but basically you need 2 women to equal 1 man. That's in the Quran. In Saudi Arabia, that's how it's applied.
We're in France, not Saudi Arabia, where they're stricter. What does the Quran? See, it's even stricter there. Where though? No?
In Saudi Arabia, they apply Sharia law to the letter.
But they're even stricter than what the Quran says. No, but wait, you want to talk about the text, but have you read the Bible or not? No? But you see, there are things in there that are terrible. Someone questioned people on the street by quoting Bible verses and convincing them they were from the Quran. And people were saying, well, there you go, we were right. The Quran actually has barbaric texts, when in fact it was the Bible. A woman, her hand is cut off if she ever defends her husband by grabbing the private parts of her husband's enemy.
Which part of the Bible is that?
I don't know the text, but that...
Now show me someone who defends that or insists on applying the Bible's rule.
You still need to consider the context.
Yeah, the problem...
There's another one. Yeah, he's right. What we're trying to make you understand is that you shouldn't impose on the majority what the minority believes the truth. Not just one truth, there are several, right or not? So, you have to accept, and that's what I'm coming back to what I was saying earlier. You have to accept that I come to you and I tell you I'm Jewish without being afraid of getting a bad reaction.
No, but we're discussing texts, and it depends on context and other factors. For example, polygamy. Let me explain. Polygamy. We know very well that today it's not really useful anymore, but back then there were wars and women found themselves alone.
But Allah allowed it. His word is valid at all times and in all places.
It's God? No, but there's polyamory. Wait, so that means polygamy is a problem, but polyamory, threesomes and all that, that's allowed in this country. Isn't that true? So why are threesomes forbidden? Excuse me, but why is polygamy a problem? Because we don't turn it into that. They say, no, I'm not polygamous, just polyamorous.
Polyamory is just about feelings. It's got nothing to do with it. It's not the same at all.
It's more like polygamy. We have lovers.
You can't compare polygamy and polyamory.
Polyamory, huh?
In polyamory, people don't get married.
They don't tell the mayor they're marrying 2 women. Polyamorous people just love 2 people.
But they're free as long as the women agree?
Yes, but the state doesn't have to put a stamp of approval on that.
France bans it domestically but respects its allowance in Muslim countries. So we don't need to interfere with countries just because they have different values? Well, no, you're all talking about countries like Saudi Arabia. You're talking about Saudi Arabia and all that. But I mean, I don't agree with the law, yes.
Child marriage and slavery are both permitted in Saudi Arabia.
But then, but wait, why are you talking about Saudi Arabia? But wait, Saudi Arabia, it's not because...
It's the holy book of millions of French people. It's the holy book of millions of French people. And so it still creates a bit of stress. There's a little something going on.
Bottom line, we have different values and can say we don't want those imposed in another country. You see what I mean? That's all it is.
What we should remember is that it was really very interesting to talk with you and that a discussion can take place.
That's what I said earlier. If we could reproduce you as we want...
With great pleasure.
We need to clone you. We need cloning. And he's Ben the Patriot's brother, the one who organized this demonstration. Oh yes, and he doesn't agree with his brother. That's true, that's true.
Unfortunately, we lost contact briefly.
That's a shame, though.
That's sad.
The most important thing is family.
No, but sooner or later, I think I'll call him back one day. I think it's a shame.
Send him a message now. Look, Ben, we love you. Even your brother loves you.
Yeah, of course. You're my brother, of course. That doesn't change. But I don't agree with you. No, but still, he's my brother. That's it. He disappoints me, but he's my brother.
Vincent Lapierre, thank you for giving us a voice. Thanks to you, many people feel seen and not forgotten. Because of you, our voice and identity, our civilization even are heard. But I wanted to end with a message of hope. Earlier I noticed something. I noticed that, especially through the youth, hope was being reborn. You see, hope for the future, for what's to come, was reappearing through the vision of young people. And what I see is why now I have more hope than last time. Why am I optimistic? No one can stop a people who believe in the future again. Okay, long live France.
I love France. I'm French and I love diversity. Need proof?
But for them, it's us who are the extremists.
There you go. A nice middle finger given to us. I'm talking to you. The gathering of fascists, actually. Not the gathering of fascists. Yeah, real fascists.
I'm talking to you. What is this gathering of fascists anyway? The fascist rally? Yeah, you big fascist.
Please speak, Mom.
To quote someone well known, de Villiers, as he says, it's urgent. Our people are dying out.